Hi there guys. About a year ago I made a video titled "Which app is the best one to use in 2023?" I looked back on that a month ago and realised there's been a fair few changes, so I decided maybe it's time to do another similar video. So this video is all about which app is best in 2024. What I'm going to do is go through all the same. So I did 5 sections which were based along about delivery drivers. So I'm going to do the same 5 sections again. React to how things have changed over the last sort of year, or just over a year that it's been. How things are different for me. But when it comes to the scoring, what I've decided is this time, let's just not rely on just little old me. What I've done is I've done a few polls on the Rodeo app. So all the scoring will be based on, I think nearly every single poll had more than 100 people reply. So it'll be based on about 100 people's different experiences across the UK on all different vehicle types. So it gives a more broad sort of idea of what the apps are like and how they all behave and how they're all performing. So how's the scoring going to work? So basically I'll do the same scoring as I did last time. The best app will get 3 points. So if they come in first, that's 3 points. Second is 1 point. And if they are the worst, the third best performing app, 0. So let's get through the most important topic first. Well, probably one of 2 most important topics first. Delivery fees is the one that everyone's speaking about at the moment. So how are delivery fees in 2024? So last year, my reaction was that Deliveroo, and at the time Stuart was doing Just Eat, so Deliveroo and Just Eat were right about par, about the same. That I believe was because at the time Deliveroo had quite a lot of boosts going on. Unfortunately, at the moment there's no boosts ever on Deliveroo, and fees are pretty much terrible. Well, not terrible, to be fair. Uber Eats is terrible, really bad for me, which it always kind of has been. But the quieter things go on order volume wise, the worse Uber seems to get. Excuse me, getting a little bit of a cold, I think. But yeah, basically Deliveroo now is, since the pay floor changed, maybe a little bit better, but not as good as it should be. Just Eat, definitely for me, for fees are by far the best. So I would say that whereas last time I scored Deliveroo and Just Eat about the same, this time definitely Just Eat are 10 times better. Deliveroo and Uber are about the same, but Uber a little bit lower, I'd say. But let's see what the poll said. So looking at the poll, which I'll pop here, pretty much exactly the same as what I've just said. The majority of people have voted for Just Eat. Second place is Deliveroo, and third place is Uber. And when we're saying majority, I mean it's quite a large majority. 35 of the 50 odd people have voted for Just Eat, so it's quite a high majority of people saying that Just Eat are paying the best fees. So I think you can safely we can safely say that they have won this section, with Deliveroo coming in second, Uber in third. So then let's now move on to poll number 2, which is order volume. So the last poll that I did a year ago, I actually said that Just Eat had the best order volume. So what's changed in the last year? Obviously, if you've seen my channel before, what you might be aware of is that Stuart lost their contract with Just Eat in my area around about a year, just under a year ago. And at first it was great, absolutely amazing, because their fees are higher since they've changed over. So like pay per mile or per minute, or whatever you want to call it, it's definitely higher. However, order volume now is absolutely horrendous with Just Eat. In fact, order volume across all of the apps is terrible at the moment. It's the worst it's ever been. There seems to be more and more riders in my area and less jobs. Like, order volume is the biggest problem that we've got in Exeter, definitely, without a doubt. And it's such a shame that Just Eat took all the orders from Stuart. I mean, I still do Stuart with Tesco, and with Co-op, and I still love Stuart to a certain extent, but obviously it's not the same thing anymore. A couple of people actually did ask when I was polling, why haven't I included Stuart? The reason why I haven't included it is in a lot of areas Stuart is basically not a thing anymore, or never was a thing, so it's easier just to do the 3 main apps. But yeah, at the moment, order volume across all 3 for me is just terrible. So I did say that at the time, back just over a year ago, Just Eat was the best, or Stuart at the time. Deliveroo, we're not far behind. And Uber Uber's not really changed at all. They've always been terrible for order volume. It seems like if it rains, all of a sudden they're like, oh crap, and they got loads and loads of orders, but generally Just Eat and Deliveroo are still better than Uber, but yeah, not by much. But let's see what the poll says anyway. So this was the one that I was most confused about, because different areas, people say different things. Here's what the poll said. So most people are saying Deliveroo have got the best order volume at the moment. Surprisingly, Uber Eats is second, and I think this is a good reflection on what's happened with Just Eat since they took the contracts back from Stuart. Most of the least votes for the best order volume is with Just Eat. And this just shows you how much of a shame it is. I mean, obviously, the fees are now better with Just Eat than they were with Stuart. Probably by about £1 an order. But, I mean, I used to be able to get at least 2 or 3 orders an hour when Stuart had Just Eat. But now that's shrunk down to 1 to 2 orders an hour, and quite often can't actually get a run. So, yeah, Just Eat has come last in this one. So the rest of the polls haven't really got much of a change. I'm not going to really reflect back on the last video, but the next poll is poll number 3. Which app has the best support for if something goes wrong? Support? Didn't somebody say support? Anybody heard of support? That's basically what the comments said. Everyone was saying, where's the option for none of the above? Which I think is a little bit unfair on Deliveroo in my experience, because to be fair, at least with Deliveroo, I can generally phone them up and they have basically resolved pretty much every issue I've had. So for me, Deliveroo is the best with this. Uber and Just Eat, just disaster. Like, if anything goes wrong, it's just terrible. Just absolutely awful. Just Eat especially, like, they've taken this contract back from Stuart. I feel like they aren't ready with the infrastructure to actually deal with what's going on. But it's not just delivery drivers when it comes to Just Eat. I've heard of horror stories where if something's gone wrong for the customer, they're not dealing with customers properly either. So for me, Just Eat is worst. It's just terrible. But let's see what the poll said. So big winners with the poll is Deliveroo, 72 votes out of the over 100. And we got Uber Eats coming in second, Just Eat coming third. Not a big surprise there. Moving on to poll number 4 is who has the best rider insurance and other perks. For me, this one's pretty simple. It's got to be Deliveroo. They paid me out £2,000 for having baby twins. Nearly every single time that I've been sick, they have paid out the sickness insurance that they have in place. With Uber Eats, I've applied a handful of times for things, but the insurance company they used to seem to find any reason to not pay out. So I didn't get the new baby one because I hadn't worked for them for enough by 2 or 3 days or something crazy. The sickness ones, they seem to really delve into it and find a way to get out of it, but I have received it once or twice, so at least I've got something. But with Just Eat, there's no protection, no partner protection whatsoever. For me, they're the worst ones. But looking at the poll, I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure whether people really understand that these sickness insurances are actually in place. Deliveroo's come out first, which I'm not surprised about, but somehow Just Eat's come second. I don't know whether people are thinking it's Stuart, because Stuart have got their few things. Uber coming last, which they should have come second in my opinion, but there we go. I mean, it's a public poll. That's what we said we would do. So yeah, Deliveroo, then Uber Eats. Sorry, Deliveroo, then Just Eat, and then Uber Eats in last. Last category is the app itself. So which one has the best usability with the least glitching, etc. For me, I think the Deliveroo app's probably the best one. I've never really had any problems with that. I find that the Uber app sometimes drains my battery a little bit quicker than I'd expect it to if I'm delivering with them. Just Eat. It's a bit of a disaster. The app's just terrible, really, for me. Quite often it says I've got an order, and then it says I haven't got an order. Yeah, I don't get on well with the Just Eat app whatsoever. I don't think many other people do either. But let's see what the poll says. So not a massive surprise to see Just Eat have come in last. Uber and Deliveroo about the same, but Uber coming ahead of them. So Uber wins, Deliveroo second, Just Eat third. Not a massive surprise. The final scores, based on what people on Rodeo think, so not just me. The final scores are Deliveroo have come in first place with 11 points. Uber Eats second place with 5 points, and Just Eat last with 4 points. So it just goes to show you it's not just about what you're getting fees per order, or at least not in this video. For me, still my favourite one to deliver with is Just Eat, because you know, if I've got a choice of all the apps, I'll probably always deliver with Just Eat, just because the fees are that much higher. I did a video a little while ago that showed that my average fees on Just Eat were actually about £2 higher than on any other app. So for me, I'll always probably deliver on Just Eat if I've got a Just Eat run available, or even any orders available. But the problem is, at the moment, is that like I said to you before, order volume across all the apps is just not great. The Just Eat app is bad. So those are the things that have let Just Eat down for me. No partner protection. So yeah, but that's how everybody else sees it. You know, like I say, this is a public thing. I wanted to see how everybody has a different opinion on how the apps are doing. So yeah, Deliveroo come in first place, and Just Eat at last, with Uber in the middle. And guys, as ever, if you've enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Really help me out. Cheers.